I don't think I have a video on my channel that somewhere I don't make some reference to the benefit that athletes get by being on a college athletic team during their college years. But sometimes it's the journey. It's not always the end result. And there is so many benefits to the journey. And so what we're going to talk about today is not necessarily going to be the benefits and all the stuff that athletes get when they're on a college team. And there's plenty of them. What we're going to actually talk about is where you are right now in your process. So if you're a middle schooler, if you're a high school athlete, you're getting benefits right now before you even get to the college level. And I want to talk about that a little bit today. But first, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Blake Starkey. I help high school athletes and their parents understand everything that they need to be doing during their high school years if they really want to play their sport when they go off to the college level. And I like to think I know a little bit about this topic because, you see, for 20 years before doing what I do now, I was a high-level NCAA Division I head coach. I have personally recruited and signed more high school athletes to full athletic scholarships than I could count, and now with what I do as a consultant, I've helped even more families and more kids get themselves successfully recruited. And it's just something that I'm very, very passionate about and that I get a lot of energy from. And another thing that I always mention either very early in my videos or, towards the end is if this is something that you are interested in, down at the bottom of this video, you're going to see a link, and I would really encourage you to click it. And what that is that's going to give you access to a walkthrough, a training that I personally put together. And what it does is it walks you through everything you need to be doing from your freshman year of high school all the way through your senior year of high school if you really want to get yourself noticed and recruited. So again, there's a link down there, click it, and I will immediately send you this just really, really great training. Okay, so anybody who follows my stuff, they know that I'm completely biased, and a lot of my videos, I'm constantly touching on the fact that there's so much that you get by being on a college team, and again, whether you're on scholarship or not. And so today what we're going to do is we're going to actually take this into a little bit of a different direction, and instead of focusing so much on the how-to of how you go after college athletic scholarships, I want to talk about some stuff that you're getting right now if you're on a high school team or if you're heavily involved in a high school activity, because a lot of times, and especially with a lot of the parents and the kids that I deal with, the sole focus is on, making that next step, and sometimes you have people, they kind of lose sight of just the fact that there's so much value to what they're doing right now. And as the phrase often goes, sometimes the journey is better than the prize at the end of that journey. And so you're on a journey right now, and there are so many really great things that are a part of that journey. So my daughter Emily, who is now a teacher in Austin, hard for me to say that, but years and years ago when my daughter was little, and I'm talking ages 9 up through 14, she was heavily involved in competitive dance. She was on a really, really good dance team, and we would go to competitions, and we would want to watch my kid do her thing. And it was really kind of cool. It was a different environment than tennis. It was a different environment than college coaching, and I actually really enjoyed that. And it was hilarious. Everybody's probably seen the TV show Dance Moms and all the drama that goes along with that. And but it was kind of funny. Like we'd go to St. Louis, we'd go to Kansas City, we'd go up into Nebraska, we'd go to different places to watch our kids do their thing. And so there was this core group of dads, and we'd look at each other, we'd kind of roll our eyes, and we'd kind of laugh at the hilariousness of the situation. And a lot of times we'd catch ourselves out in the lobby, and these dads were with all these screaming little girls running around, we'd all just be kind of talking shop about things. There was this time we were in St. Louis, and look, I'm not going to name anybody, but there was this one particular mom. She would always talk about how expensive stuff was from her perspective. And so she'd come walking up, we'd all be talking about something, and then she'd kind of get in the conversation, and then literally sometimes inside of 30 seconds, it would turn into, oh my gosh, why are we staying at this hotel? This hotel is so expensive. And why are we eating dinner at this place tonight? That restaurant is so expensive. And oh my gosh, Raul just raised his private instruction, and I can't believe how much he charges for an hour. Or, the costumes that Marie chose for our daughters, they're so pricey. And, it was just, I mean, I hate to say it, it was kind of a downer. You know, it's just like money, 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 money. It was always the same person, and it was always the same topic. And one day, and this was a really powerful thing, there was this one dad who was in our group, and he was a little bit older, and I kind of knew his story. I knew his background, but it was really interesting. When she started talking about money, and he was normally a really quiet guy, but on this particular day, you know, something clicked in him, and he decided he was going to speak up. And he turned to the lady, and he said, and he's a country boy, so he said, "Yeah, you know, all this stuff, it's really expensive. It sure is. I got a question for you. Just a simple question. Do you like the girls that your daughter is around? I mean, do you consider them to be, you know, like my daughter and Blake's daughter, I mean, do you consider them to be good girls?" And the lady said, "Oh, absolutely. They're hearts of gold. They're wonderful girls." "Yeah, okay. Do you think it's a good thing your daughter getting this experience, you know, like leaving Columbia, Missouri and coming up here to St. Louis and staying in a hotel and maybe getting to go eat dinner with a bunch of friends and kind of getting congratulated by me and some of the other dads and all the girls? I mean, do you think that's a good experience for her?" And the mom said, "Oh, wonderful. Absolutely. It's a great thing." And do you think that, you know, do you feel like your daughter is around a lot of good role models in her instructors and with some of the other girls and some of the other parents? Do you feel like your daughter is around good people? Not just the girls that she's around, but do you feel like on these weekends, is your daughter around good people? The mom said, "Oh my gosh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely." "Well, let me tell you something. It's just observation here." He said, "You know, I'm older than you, and I've got my daughter who's here, but she's got two older sisters. And do you know my background? Do you know our story?" And she said, "No, I really don't." He said, "Well, okay, but let me tell you something. You know, this is expensive. I mean, there's no denying this activity that we're in, but pretty much anything you do, any youth sport that you're going to be involved in, any youth activity, you know, there's going to be a cost on it. It's a cottage industry." And so, yeah, it is expensive. But, you know, here, listen, keep in mind, you know, your daughter is 14 years old. And this cost that you're paying right now, you're not going to pay it forever. You know, at some point, your daughter's going to, like my daughter, she's going to lose interest in dance and she may shift into something else. Or, you know, hey, maybe she sticks with it. But I'm going to tell you, by the time she ends high school, it's over. So you're not doing this forever. You're not going to be, this money that you're paying right now, you're not going to be paying this 10 years from now. I mean, you kind of get that, don't you? And she said, "Yeah, you know, that's actually a really good thing that you're saying. I think I sometimes lose sight of that, but that is a really good point that, yeah, this is just something that I'm paying right now. I'm not going to pay it forever." That's relieving to know. He said, "Yeah, you know, so just kind of keep that in mind." But anyway, I'll go back to this thing. So your daughter's around a bunch of other really good girls, right? Yes. Your daughter's around a bunch of good role models, right? Yes. And you think it's a really good experience for your daughter to get out and have to maybe problem solve in an environment like this, and she's staying in a hotel, she's kind of getting a road trip under her belt, and then she's getting to go and eat in some restaurants with a lot of friendly people, and then she's also got a lot of people who are congratulating her and telling her that she has value and patting her on the back and all of that. And so you think when you put all that together, well, that's all really good stuff, isn't it? And she said, "Yeah, it really is." He said, "So, all right, so I just want to finish up with this. Yes, this is all extremely expensive. It absolutely, it's pricey. But I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you something from personal experience. It's cheaper than rehab." Well, I mean, like, mic drop. I mean, wow. You know, and I at the moment, I don't think I saw exactly where he was going. But he made a lot of valuable points, and this story, given what I do, really hit me hard. And I knew his story, and his story was really simple. I mean, he had an elder daughter who they had to put into rehab for substance abuse. And look, I want to be very quick to say, I don't look at that as a negative. I've been around my share of people that have gone into rehab programs. I'm a big fan of anybody who either develops a problem or has a problem, and they are brave enough to do something about it. You know, they recognize it's like, this is not the life I want to lead, but maybe this thing I'm dealing with is too much and I need some professional help. I need some intervention. I truly need help. So you need to understand, I'm a big fan of this. I do not, anybody who talks negatively about rehab or stuff like that, I think those are some of the bravest people that you will ever meet. But yeah, true story. He had an older daughter that they had to put into some kind of rehab program. And as he went on and he was talking to this particular lady, he literally said that the big reason he had his daughter involved in what she was doing, and he was kind of owning it, as he said, with his older one, he and his wife, they were busy with jobs and work, and they didn't really make a lot of time, and they just come home and eat dinner. And so the daughter was kind of left to her own. And what happened was she kind of found her way to some undesirable people, and then they kind of got to going with different activities, and then that led to another activity, which led to another activity, which eventually led his daughter to developing a substance abuse problem. And good for that set of parents for, stepping in and doing everything they could to help their eldest daughter. But what he said he was doing with his youngest, it really wasn't about dance or competitive dance. He wanted his kid busy. He wanted his kid involved in a really good, healthy outlet. He wanted his kid around good role models. He wanted his kid around other good girls. He wanted his kid around a set of parents where if anything did happen, parents talk, and that was going to make its way back to him. And he had learned the lessons from this first one. And so it really hit me as powerful. So now, let's talk about where you are. Let's talk about what's going on with you. Sometimes, this weekend, this client that I'm working with, I had to kind of go through this because I think they're losing sight of the fact that, and look, this story is ongoing for them, and they're just kind of in this waiting period. They don't know how things are going to play out. Are they going to get picked up to play at some college, or are they not? We don't know yet. I feel, having done this for a long time, I feel pretty confident with this particular kid that, yeah, absolutely something's going to work out. But it just hasn't happened yet. And so there's a little angst and there's a little bit of stress. And so, it seems like sometimes the only thing we're focused on is who's recruiting us and where are we going. And, it's unfortunate. I think it happens, but it's like, don't lose sight of the journey. Don't lose sight of the process. Look, whether it works out for you or not, and anybody who wants it, I hope it works out for them. But don't lose sight of how much you're getting right now. Really pay attention. Look at your fellow teammates. Ask yourself, are these pretty good kids that I'm being around? Yeah. Are you recognized in your high school for being good at something? Yeah, you probably are. You're part of a team. Are you around really good role models? Are you getting good messages from your coaches and from your teachers and your instructors? Yeah. Do you have a game day where, win or lose, people are supportive of you? Yeah, you're probably getting, when games are over, you get to maybe go with a team and eat a team meal, or maybe just the work that goes into practice to become good at whatever it is you're doing, or to be part of a team that's good. Don't lose sight of this. Okay, don't lose sight of this. It's an important piece. It's not all about, it's great if you get to go on and play your sport at the college level, but what you're getting right now is, I'm telling you, and I don't care what you're paying for it. I don't care if you have some private lessons or if you're having to buy uniforms. You cannot put a price on what I'm talking about. And I can tell you from personal experience that, those of us who are long past our college playing days or long past our high school playing days, a lot of times it's just stored in this little box here, and we remember those activities, and it's something that you're in the middle of it, you're in the thick of it right now, and whether you recognize it or not. So every now and then just take a deep breath and appreciate some of the things that you're getting that aren't necessarily on a scoreboard. It's not tied to the winning or the losing, it's the journey and so many great things and great relationships that you're getting. And I promise you, there's so many people, they remember it the rest of their lives, and it's just really a great thing. So look, I understand a little bit of a deviation from the stuff we normally talk about here, but because this just came up with a client that I'm working with right now, and it's come up plenty of times, in other areas for me, it's just a really powerful story and a powerful thing that I remember, and I wanted to share it with my audience. Okay, so look, we're going to be, we'll be turning around really, really soon, and we will have another conversation that will be in the area of NCAA sports and primarily how you go about getting yourself noticed by college coaches, how you go about getting yourself recruited, all the stuff that you need to be doing. So look, as always, I want to wish you the absolute best of luck with everything you're doing, your grades, your sport, your goals, just all of it. And we will be talking soon. Take care.